Hello. I'll show you how I get ready for the camera. Okay. So first of all, I'd like to make sure that I wash my hands. So you're gonna get to hear some water sounds. I wash my hands a lot when I'm getting ready. Then we're going to moisturize. So I just got a little bit of lotion. It's got a bit of vitamin E in it. And I've already lotioned, to be honest, but I thought I would show you the step. Cover my forehead, temples. This area I realized that I wasn't really moisturizing very much. I just started prioritizing using sunscreen. I hadn't for most of my life, and now I wear it every single day. But I find it very difficult to apply below the brow bone. I just have sensitive eyes, and I don't like the feeling of the fumes of sunscreen, so I will apply under my eyes and just at the brow. Same thing with lotion. I have very oily eyelids. If I were to just wear mascara, it would be running down my face within a couple of, well, not a couple of hours, within a few hours, though, it would start to get runny because I just have so much natural oil on my eyelids. So hopefully that helps, but ideally I think this area probably gets neglected. And then make sure to lotion the neck. And, I realize that the back of the neck I have been neglecting, so really taking some time to cover the skin. Protects us from all of the elements. It's our screen, it's our barrier, allows us to stay inside ourselves, so give it some love. Okay, there we go. Lotioned. Now, I'm particular, so I like to wash my hands if I'm going to be reaching my fingers into another product. I just want to mix the two. Now, I'm very lazy. I do have makeup brushes, and I couldn't tell you the last time I've used them because I have to wash them. And I just can't be bothered. So they are in my closet, wrapped up and waiting to have some attention. And one day I will, because I'd like to experiment with some looks and to actually be able to use my brushes that I paid money for. But I think I don't know if this is recommended by, I would say probably not. It's probably not recommended to use your fingers in products. However, I find it's very, very fast, and I've managed just using an eyelid primer right now. By the way, I find that using my fingers is an effective way of applying product. Not the best. I find a better application with brushes, but my fingers do the job. So I've never done a video of applying makeup before. I'm gonna use my mirror for reference. I imagine usually makeup artists are looking down at a mirror. I'm a very big beginner, little angels, in this video game. So when I say video game, I mean video making game. My setup is incredibly straightforward. I sit in front of my piano that has some glowing LED lights behind it. I put a projector and a couple of lights that were given to me around. For lighting, I watched tutorials on YouTube and Skillshare for lighting and video setup. I also am borrowing this camera. I did go ahead and get the microphone that I'm using. I've been wanting to change my filter, my pop filter, but I've been lazy. I say all that to say I don't there's not a lot of effort that goes behind the scene. The effort is in me getting up and doing this. This is a really therapeutic exercise for me, and I want to thank you all for being here. Having the consistency, being able to show up is making a dream come true for me, to be able to be in the YouTube space. So thank you. So even though it's not the highest production, and the set is really not advanced, it allows me to get into a certain work mode or space or creativity, and even knowing that somebody finds my voice helpful or just having this on in the background helpful is helpful for me. It gives an outside source of accountability, which I really appreciate. So thank you so much, angels. So I'm just dipping into, oh dear, this is really dirty. I'm gonna tidy up my makeup eyeshadow. That's so funny. See, even this is a thought. This video was an idea I had, and I have a desire to make a makeup 101 tutorial, because I didn't learn to do, I guess, flattering makeup until later in life. And I thought I would share that information with others in ASMR, just in another regular long format video. And so today I'm wanting to film office sounds, and I thought, you know what, why don't I practice and do get ready with me style. So I'm taking, these are, honestly, I love eyeshadow. It's my favorite beauty product. I like sunscreen, obviously, but eyeshadows because I really enjoy playing up my eyes. I also like lip products for playing up lips, and I like blush, but in terms of variety, I definitely have more eyeshadows and lip shades to play with, but I find myself gravitating to these neutrals almost all the time. So I have here, this isn't in a good order, but here is kind of a neutral off-white shade. I have a shimmery kind of pink shade, and I have a light brown shade, a medium brown, and a darker brown there. And these I use in almost all my videos lately. The other shades that I enjoy are more, I guess, pinky purpley. And one piece of advice that I'll share, or I guess not so much advice but suggestion, is something that really changed my perspective, or I guess my knowledge about beauty, is learning about color theory. So I'm taking by the way, this shade, and I am going to apply it to my eyelids. Color theory, I found, really dramatically changed how I thought about what would be flattering for me. I think part of, I guess, in terms of beauty and self-care, I have no idea how to look into the camera, by the way, so I'm looking off, but I'm just applying it to the lid area. But part of, I think, self-care in the beauty space in particular is embracing the assets that we have. So there are some really beautiful colors in existence, right? And it doesn't mean that I can't enjoy them, but I noticed that some colors are more flattering on me than others are. So I mentioned in another video that I'm watching all the series of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and the actress that plays Mrs. Maisel, Rachel is her first name. I'll put in the description the name of her last name. I think it's Brosnahan or Brosnahan. I have to look it up. I'm gonna go look it up 1 second. I can't do this without knowing. Okay, the actress is Rachel Brosnahan, I think. And lovely name. She is an individual who has dark hair, light skin, and light colored eyes. And so her features, I think according to color analysis principles, they would say that she has a lot of contrast in her features. And so she would probably, I think that she's what season they call winter. These aren't rules, your season. There's certain colors assigned to different seasons. I think that Rachel would be a winter because every time I see her in a bright fuchsia, a bright turquoise, or a bright purple, it's just absolutely stunning. She looks great in green too, and these would be considered cool colors on the color wheel. She looks nice in other bright colors, but they just, those cool tone colors, green, blue, purple, pink, are just absolutely stunning on her. And very bright too. So like Rachel, I think I look good in cool tones. So, but because I have not so much contrast in my features, you can see I've got, I don't really know, some would say it's blonde, some would say it's light brown hair. And my eyes are kind of a darker blue. And I'm fair, but not extremely fair. And so I'm kind of a blended. So I think of someone like Rachel from Friends, her character. Jennifer Aniston in real life is somebody who kind of would have similar, they call muted tones. And so some more subtle colors tend to be really, really lovely on someone with more subtle. So someone might reflect more blue in their skin tone, someone might reflect more yellow in their skin tone, and that can determine whether something like red, orange, yellow, or blue and pink would look nice. And what's kind of funny is that there's a color can be warm or cool even though it might be generally considered a warm or cool color. So there might be more yellow or blue, I should say, in a color. So green, for example, if it's a teal where there's more blue, I think teal is a blue-green, versus if it's an olive green, somebody with more yellow reflecting through their skin, someone who looks good with gold jewelry would look really stunning in an olive green if they have more muted features, for example. And if somebody is more highly contrast, like Rachel I was mentioning, they would look really good in like a lime green, like a bright lime green. I'm trying to think of who is a bright or a bright high contrast person. Lupita Nyong'o is definitely high contrast. She looks beautiful, or I shouldn't say high contrast. She's someone who looks good in really bright colors. She looks absolutely stunning. If you look up just some of the bold greens and oranges that she wears, I'm not sure if she's warm or cool toned, but there would be examples of somebody who look good on a lime green versus a toned down olive green. And then when it comes to blue, there are more warm toned or yellow type blues and more cool blues. So I, for example, navy blue is kind of a toned, it's not a very loud blue, suits me well, for example. Okay, I've barely gotten ready, which is typical. It's how I am actually in real life. So now I'm going to take this, I always get this wrong. I need to change up the order, but I'm going to take this lighter shade here and I'm going to put it in the crease of my eye here. So I have pretty, not really large eyes, but they kind of sit on top of my face. They kind of are round and sit out there, a little bit froggy. little bit. And I noticed that one of my eyebrows and eyes is actually higher than the other. So my left eye, it's the one with the very dramatic eyebrow, which is funny because my right eyebrow is the one that is the more expressive one. That's just the way I was born. I've always looked that way. But if I want to, I think there are some small minor tricks. It's not going to do it's not going to be the same as altering my face, but there are some makeup tricks where you can draw light or retract light from your face. So if I want to even out my eyelids, I might add more white to this one and just a little line of white here because I have less eyelid space on this one. So right now I'm adding some light brown to my crease. I'm really impressed by YouTube makeup tutorials because I have no idea. It's difficult. There are harder things. But this is funny. So right now I'm just filling in my crease, and then I'm gonna look at my eyelids, and I don't know if you can tell when I look straight ahead, when I'm just blinking, there's less eyelid space on this one, just by virtue of where my eyes sit, how much room is there. So I'm gonna take this light brown and just dust it on my actual eyelid, just on my left eye. So what I'm trying to do is to pretend my eyelids are the same height. Now I'm going to take, with a different finger, I'm going to take that medium shade up here. And I'm just going to add a little bit more dimension. So I'm not going to go, this is hard, it's just like a little bit on my finger. I'm not going to cover the entire space I was before. I'm just going to go near the bottom and swipey, 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 like that. And I'm going to get the other one on this side. So again, I'm not reaching up all the way to the top where I was. This is kind of mimicking what I would do with a brush. Just swiping, swiping, swiping. And with that ring finger that I took the lighter shade in, I'm going to kind of smudge and blend together. La, 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 la. Okay. I don't know if I look wild. I always forget to do this. I'm going to take the little sparkly, shimmery shade. It's not super sparkly, but it's just got a little bit of a shimmer. And I'm going to put it in under the top, the pointy part, the part with attitude of the eyebrow. And just get that up there. I might go back with that transition shade, the really light brown. And oopsie, I grabbed the wrong one because my palette's not set up very well. Okay, there we go. Last but not least, I'm very sweaty. Just drying off my hand. I'm gonna grab that last shade here, and I'm gonna put it in the outer, they call it the outer V. I have what's called hooded eyes, so that means there's kind of scrunchy skin at the very corner. I don't know that I'd put it on the very, very corner of my eye, but just above. So the idea is to kind of create a cat eye, or a kind of a deepening effect in that corner. So in the corners. Very good. I'm saying very good to myself. And we're going to smudge it a little bit. Smudgy smudge. Okay. So, we're done with my eyes. Eyeshadow, I should say. So, one thing I've learned is that the way that someone applies their makeup is going to be different on different people. So, and something else I learned when I was little, I would see commercials for mascaras and I would think, oh, their eyelashes look so incredible. How come mine don't look like that? When I put on mascara, a lot of times, I think there are false lashes used in, or somebody might just be really, have very luscious, full lashes. And the mascara is still helping, like it's still something that helps blend lashes, but it's just not going to be the way that our natural lashes look. I also have naturally flat lashes, and I may decide to use a curler. I definitely have in the past. I've heard it's not so great for the health of the bottom of your eyes, so I've elected to pause on that. But it's, what I'm trying to say is that it can be useful. I'm grabbing my pencil for my eyebrows right now, by the way. It can be useful to experiment and to learn a little bit. If you notice certain facial features, like, my eyebrows are round, or my eyebrows are flat, or they're very angular, or I have shorter tail on my eyebrow, or I notice I have a very round face or very angular features. There might be different things about you that you want to enhance or emphasize, or you might want to not emphasize. And so I don't think there's any right or wrong way to do makeup, honestly. So I've tried different things, like the full healthy brow look. Looks amazing on some people. This is the state of what my eyebrows look like without doing anything to them. They are relatively thin. I didn't notice that my heightened brow, it's naturally a bit thicker than the right brow. So what I could do if I wanted to even them out a little bit is to add extra thickness to this brow. And even I could add some trickery, try to make this brow a little higher, and I could maybe not fill in this brow as much on the lower part. There's no way that my eyebrows are gonna get even. Like, look at that. I don't even know if this is straight, but that's just the way it is. There might be exercises I can do. But what I do want to do is to just fill out very gentle, especially the outer part of my eyebrow. One thing I noticed, this is just my preference. Again, I think it's also about preference, what you like. And, if you notice something, a style that you really like, I think that's one thing I do like about a social media site like Instagram or Pinterest. You get to see varieties and styles and tutorials. YouTube's great for that too. So I think going for image is like just seeing what looks are available can be useful. And then I like to go onto YouTube to find out more in-depth tutorials. There's some phenomenal makeup artists on YouTube, and they've been my teachers. So okay, I like to have a little bit of a darker outer part of my eyebrow, and then where do my eyebrows even start? They start right there, I think, and they're very light. They're very light. So I like to just have the lightest hand and to kind of do even sparse upstrokes to just make sure that there's continuity, that I don't have an eyebrow starting over here. So for this one, if I want to make them a little bit more even looking, instead of kind of going really dark at the bottom, I'm kind of starting a few hairs up. I prefer not to overpluck my eyebrows. I did that when I was younger, when it was popular to do that. But now I realize that sometimes eyebrows don't grow back, and you'll be sad. So I think just working with what I have for now is my strategy. So right now I'm doing a little fluffy. And inevitably, always, I'll realize that I've gone way too far in. Sometimes when your eyebrows go really, really far in, it can be kind of distracting, or you want the emphasis to be on your eyes. The eyebrows are there to frame your face, I guess. And I like when my attention is drawn to the eyebrow. It can, I guess, be a signal of health and good grooming. But when they're really close together, when they're like caterpillars meeting, unless you're going for a unibrow, if that's the way you want to have your appearance. But when I'd rather have a unibrow than have two eyebrows approaching each other so close, like they're magnets repelling each other just at the very brink. So I like to kind of keep my eyebrows not too far away, but a decent amount, just kind of where they naturally fall. Okay, that's that. Now not good at clicking. Now for eyeliner. So I used to not understand as well why when I would take liquid liner and I would do what I thought. I would just make this huge line across my eyelid, and I would feel like I looked better before I put on the eyeliner. Isn't that funny? So makeup can be used in so many different ways. It can make us transform into something we're trying to achieve. And so, makeup can be used on set to achieve. I was watching an interview with Idris Elba and his spouse, and he's talking about how makeup can look like he's, been in an action scene, so mimicking sweat, and it might be dirt or getting roughed up, or some wounds that he got during his bout of action. And it might be to glamorize, it might be to freshen up, it might be to create a softer or more aggressive or harsh look. It depends. And I have put on makeup where I absolutely look like a disaster after. It would have been better if I just never put it on. And that's how I feel about eyeliners sometimes. I realized because, hooded eyes, with I'm not having a lot of, I've heard it called real estate. I don't have a lot of space between my lash line and my eyebrow. If I were to make a thick line for eyeliner, it kind of swallows up my whole eyelid. And then it almost, because darker colors move objects back into space. That's why when people talk about highlighting, some people highlight the bridge of their nose or the sides of their face. They're wanting to bring attention to that area. You would be losing a lot of my eyelid and just seeing the space up here. I just didn't know that. So lately I've been experimenting with not doing any eyeliner on the lash line whatsoever. I really like cat eyes, and there's techniques for hooded eyes as well for doing winged eyeliner. Kind of makes instead of just doing a straight line, for some people they almost make it look like a bat wing or like a hockey stick or check mark. Okay, so I don't know what I did to my eyeliner. I do this sometimes, the felt tip. I think I jammed it too hard into my skin, and it kind of makes the liner come out less effectively. But so what I'm gonna do is just take a line from the corner of my eye to however I want to. I'll start with this side. So this is terrifying for me. It often goes wrong. And it went wrong. But that's okay. Oh, no. I made my eyeliner a little too low but thankfully, because I've got so much lotion on, I can fix it. It just smudged away. So I'm gonna go do this just a second. Maybe I'll turn on the water. Okay. Oh dear, I messed that up really bad, but we're learning. So I made it really thick in one corner and not so much in the other, so now I gotta even it out. Okay. Oh, my armpits are sweating. Okay. Officially. Okay, I'm gonna take some blush. Not blush. I like this kind of velvety case that my blush comes in. This is a rosy color. I like mauves and roses and for my coloring in particular. Okay, so this is you know what I realized I forgot? I forgot my foundation. But I'm gonna put this on anyways. So I'm just gonna apply that to my outer cheeks. Okay. I'm laughing at my eyeliner. I don't know what to do. It's not that big a deal, but I notice it. Okay. So I am grabbing a sponge. I apply some foundation. Now this isn't, I personally don't wear foundation on a daily basis, but some people like to. Some people it's main component that's the star of their makeup. This is very individual. I personally like to wear things that emphasize my eyes, eyebrows, cheeks, and lips on a regular basis when I'm wearing makeup. But for camera, I like to wear a foundation and to be able to conceal some blemishes or dark circles. But on my day-to-day, I think I've embraced dark circles. I haven't gotten a technique that allows me to put on a concealer in my under eyes and not have it crease and bring attention to that area and to fine lines. I would rather almost have my natural dark circles come through than to put the emphasis on the creasing. So if there's a way to, I've seen people apply techniques where they're using setting powder in a very specific way. They're letting their eyes crease and then putting powder, and it seems for them not to crease. I haven't tried that yet. I'm just globbing on, apparently. This makeup. I'll be putting blush over top, but I wanted to use the clicky sounds of that blush. Now, because I'm not filming for, and by the way, I'm just dabbing gently, dab, all over my face. Because I am not wearing foundation all day, I haven't used a primer, and I'm not going to use a setting spray. I've never used a setting spray, to be honest. I should really try. I have very sensitive eyes, and I'm kind of worried about the setting spray bothering me after everything I've put on the makeup and then having to rinse my eyes out. But that's probably an irrational fear. I feel that way after I've sprayed hair product or even different perfumes. I'll feel like my eyes are irritated, so that's why I leave mascara to the very, very end, just in case I do something, because I feel like with every other step I've done, it can be fixed, but after mascara, it's very difficult because I use regular mascara, not waterproof. It's apparently gentler. I'm making sure to go close to my hairline. I'm fortunate, I guess, in the sense that because I guess I'm muted, it's not super obvious if I were to get foundation in my hair, but if your hair differs a fair amount than your skin, you might notice it's, I guess I would have to be mindful of making sure when I wash off my makeup to really be attentive to that area, to not let it stay. I'm very, very, very serious about making sure I take off makeup under my eyes or on my eyes. Okay, almost in here, just being pretty picky with the blending. I find, the under eyes is the most difficult part for me. I don't want to rush that part because I don't want to accidentally stamp my eyeball. It's difficult to not open your mouth like a fish when doing anything really close to the eye, including mascara. Okay, there we go. And I kind of like to leave around the nose and mouth for last, just for hygiene reasons. I don't want to get particulate that's kind of close to the nose. And mouth, everywhere else. And I feel like that's pretty well blended. I'm trying to think. I'm gonna take a look and see if there's anything that I would like to apply concealer to. I think I see there's a blemish here that happens, hormonal pimples sometimes, and I'm going to try to pick kind of a creamy concealer to cover up that one. I'm not sure what tone, no. So I guess if you put something, I was learning this recently, if you use a really light concealer on a blemish, light might be brought to that area, so you don't necessarily want to go too light. But I also don't want to make it obviously darker, because that's kind of the point of why I'm wanting to cover it up. Okay, there's that. And then I might use a little bit of this yellow on just under my eyelid. I've seen tricks about kind of decreasing the appearance of that creasing in the eye if you make a highlighter here. But if you have, apparently you can only put the highlighter there, not where the dark circle is. You want to, well, I guess you could, but then you'd have to use a really light color underneath. The idea is to attract light here to make you forget about the crease that you've got there. But okay, so that's done. I typically would set this with powder. I'm gonna do that off camera, but I just would powder my face after applying blush and any bronzer. Perhaps today I'm just gonna do a blush. I'm doing a cream blush over top because I goofed earlier. I like to do a little heart. Oh, not even a heart. Here, maybe. It's not even a heart. Now, again, I'm just gonna stamp. I think if you were to drag, it might uproot what you've done. This, I'm just stamping a little bit up here, and I love blush. I could dunk my head into blush, and people would be like, "Why is your face red?" And I would be like, "Because I'm fabulous." And that would be that. And then one thing I'm bad at is I can really get blush stuck into there, so I've got to make sure I blended it pretty decently there. Okie dokie. So now lippies. And lately I've been enjoying pretty subtle lips. What would Miss Office Lady wear? I think. Can you imagine she wears like bright blue lips? That would be pretty cool, actually. She doesn't want to be too. She doesn't want to be too loud. But I like pink. So I don't overline my lips. That might be your preference. Some people, I think, are really good at overlining at the top there. I, however, just end up looking like a ventriloquist, I think, when I try overlining. I think, if anything, I have caught myself underlining, and I don't think that's particularly flattering either. And then after all that, I'm just going to fill in the whole lip. So it's like finding the border of your lip and really going with that. So I think I could afford to actually go up a little bit higher. There we go. I could tell because the border of my lip kind of is a little bit white. And I could see some still. There we go. Just cleaning up that little edge. Put on some lipstick. lipstick doesn't really make a tremendous difference, but, and then my lip gloss. Lip gloss is not something I typically wear outside of the house. But I think it looks really nice on camera. So I think it's just about time to put on mascara. I'm gonna go in and fix the situation that is this eyeliner. I feel like I look like the Joker, or not overall, but like the wing is giving me, you know, boo energy. And I just want to even that out a little bit, and it's probably gonna look even more wild, but that's okay. This is all a learning experience. Last but not least, mascara. I like to use mascara for sensitive eyes, and if you're like me and you have flat eyelashes and thin eyelashes, they're medium length. I know there are thickening mascaras out there. I personally prefer just lengthening ones. I don't like when mascaras flake. There may be mascaras on the market that are volumizing and don't flake. I haven't encountered one, and a lot of them tend to burn my eyes, honestly. So one tip I can say is that when people talk about really getting to the root of the lash, it makes a tremendous difference. I imagine whether or not you have flat eyelashes or curly eyelashes naturally, even by me not using an eyelash curler, I find that really getting in there helps, because I don't know if everyone else experiences this, but with maybe it's hooded eyes and maybe it's with flat lashes, I find that it's so easy to get mascara on my eyelid. I've looked up tutorials on how to not do this, and I think some people will look down and do their mascara. For me, I kind of pull up my eye, and you can't really see, this isn't an autofocus lens, but I'm gonna go in, next time I will show you a bit closer, but I'm gonna go in and instead of looking up and doing my mascara up, I'm going to pull my eye and look as much down as I can and get the wand as close as I can to my lash line without poking myself in the eye, because it's not fun. So I'm just gonna go over here for a minute, and I guess I also would say that I blink. So it's like a blink almost. So I guess I don't really look down because I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm very patient. I don't do more than one coat. I think I just do so many strokes that maybe it's like doing coats. I find that when doing multiple coats after there's some drying, it tends to get clumpy, and I don't like spider lash look. Some people love it. Some people kill for the spider lash, but that's not for me. And so I'm just being very gentle on the inner lashes and emphasizing the outer lash. I really want my outer lashes to get some love. I feel like mascara is just, if lip gloss is the final touch to lips, especially on camera, mascara, look at that. It's so nice. Mascara, especially of light eyelashes. Oh, it's a nice way to pull the whole thing together. So, with makeup, I kind of feel like the sum is more than the whole is more than the sum of its parts. And so it's nice to see how once you've completed everything, how it really creates a look. Now, I can do this in 10 minutes. It took me a long time to figure out how to do that. It doesn't normally take me this long. But once you can figure out a style that works for you, or something that's tried and true, it can be nice to get ready in a really short period of time and to just feel really polished and put together. I enjoy that transformation. I make sure to have time where I do things without makeup. There was a period of time where I was going to the gym wearing, some eyeshadow and eyebrow pencil, some eyeliner, because I wanted to kind of be done up to some extent regularly. But lately I haven't been wearing makeup to the gym, for example, or just for certain errands, but sometimes it's nice to just treat myself to a makeup session and to go out in style, I guess. So, almost done here. I'm being very, very particular. I'm gonna go a little bit closer to my mirror just to make sure. And I did actually get some on my eyelid, but I can clean that up with a Q-tip. I wait till it's dry and then use the Q-tip to just very gently dab where you've spilled. Oh, okay. So typically I would have dried my hair beforehand because I don't like to have any sprays near my face, especially after mascara, but I didn't do that today. I'm just gonna give you a quick blow dry and then get to some other filming that we're gonna do. Thank you for joining me and hearing an over explanation, long dialogue about makeup. And let me know. Well, I'm looking forward to creating a tutorial, learning how to actually do that in ASMR style, some basics, because I feel like everybody deserves to have some of the tools and the information and it doesn't have to be expensive. There are some incredible drugstore products that are accessible, and I think with a little bit of practice can feel a bit elevated. Don't need makeup to feel beautiful, to be beautiful. You are beautiful just the way you are. So it's really your choice. But either way, thank you for listening to my ramble. And I'm wishing you well. I'm wishing you well. I'm wishing you well.